On the line with me right now, Maja Shining from Forever Still. Maja, thanks for taking my call.
Oh, and thanks for having me, Mel.
It's a great pleasure. Tell us about the band if you can. Give us a brief history, a brief background. When did you first form? How you started?
Yeah, I'll try my best. Well, I met my co-writer and bass player, Mikkel, at a show, and we started talking about making music together, and we put out our first EP, Breaking Free, together in 2013. So it's been a while now, and since then we put out a full album via Nuclear Blast, and now our second album is coming out March 29th, called Breathe In Colors.
Yes, we'll get to that in a moment. The first album, Tied Down, in 2016. How did that go?
Well, I think it went rather well. Well, it's always subjective, but I mean, we did have some songs out already that Nuclear Blast caught on to, so obviously it was it was good enough for them. So,
how's the scene in Denmark? Did you find it easy or hard going early on? How was it?
It's not. I mean, there's so much life, especially in the underground as of recently, but it's mainly a bit heavier metal, whereas, some of the more modern rock or, the kind of style we do, it has done a little bit better out in the world. So quite early on, we started touring in, the UK and Italy and, our neighboring countries.
How easy is it to tour Europe? Is it a whole passport thing? I'm always fascinated with the European thing. Can you just wander over to Sweden?
Absolutely. Yes. That's the thing. The only thing you need to worry about are some special permissions on the highways and stuff like that. But other than that, you can just drive around. In that sense, it's like one big country.
Right. When did you sit down and say, right, we've got to start working on the second album? When did that come about?
Well, we started writing slowly as soon as we got back from our tour with Children of Bodom. But, things got a little interrupted by festivals and all these things we had to do. So I guess it wasn't until last winter we really sat down and started writing. At that time, we didn't even have a place to live because our apartment was being renovated, or the building it was in at least. So we had to rent this little small room and just bring, the essentials like an old drum machine and a guitar and a microphone. So it was this very basic setup that just allowed us to focus 100% on, the songwriting.
What was the vision for this album?
Well, originally it was inspired by, just looking out on the world as it is today, and we're watching the news and just, you get to see all these horrors of the world and our climate collapsing and the corruption and all these things where there's being preached fear towards anything that's different. And, a lot of that just reminded us of those 70s, 80s cyberpunk, novels and movies, and just that we're looking out in the future and didn't see that, fancy, shiny, utopian future, but was actually looking more at a world like we see it right now.
Okay, so you've come up with the vision. Where to next? Who was writing all of this, and was the whole theme of that carried right through the album?
I guess it's more of an overarching theme, and a lot of it translates, from visual things and into sound. So it's never that, direct inspiration where it's like, oh, so we heard this and then we replicated it. It's more as an interpretation. And, I write all the songs with Mikkel, who plays bass live in the band. And for me, the lyrics were also taking a more personal approach to this whole ordeal, and not only looking out on the world, but also, focusing on your own place in it. So it was both about fighting that outer war as well as the inner war.
Where was it recorded then?
It was recorded in our own studio in Copenhagen.
Tell me about the theremin. I love the theremin. Tell me about working with one.
I'm glad you do. Well, it's a duck, isn't it? I feel like people have been very, very split in the reception of that, because some of them are like, what is she even doing in that video? Is she practicing magic, or what's going on there? But for us, it was just when we had put down this overarching theme for the album, we wanted to figure out a way to actually obtain, sound-wise, what we saw visually. And Mikkel just came up with this amazing idea of using the theremin, and I was on board right away because I had already been nerding theremin videos on YouTube, because it's such an odd instrument. I was so intrigued by it. So we bought one and I started practicing and we just started trying things out and running it through some analog equipment as well, and these glitchy effect pedals that randomized the sounds and made it something different every time. And, well, what you hear is on the album.
Yeah, see, I didn't see the film clips before hearing the songs, so I didn't initially pick it as a theremin. I just thought, oh, that's a bit weird. Then I saw the video and think, oh, right, yes, they're a bit smaller than they used to be.
Yeah, well, you can get a lot of different things now. So this is just, one of many options. And for us, we wanted something we would be able to also transport and possibly bring on stage. But it's still work in progress. It is very sensitive to its surroundings. So fingers crossed we can make it work for the stage as well.
I think you definitely should take it out on the road and put it on stage. Rich Ward from Fozzy uses one on stage.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
The new album, Breathe in Colours, out very soon on Nuclear Blast. What happens for Forever Still?
Yeah, we're going to definitely tour this album. It was very much written to be performed live, and after playing the Tied Down album quite a few times now, we're all really dying to get out and explore this new music on stage. It just gives you a whole new energy when you pick up the songs on stage from when you do it in the studio. So we're currently nailing down some tour dates for, unfortunately not Australia yet, but definitely all over Europe. We're going to keep pushing and expanding, so hopefully it'll get to you guys quite soon, I hope.
Maja Shining from Forever Still. Absolutely magnificent of you to take my call. Best of luck with the new album, which will be out very soon on Nuclear Blast. Best of luck with it. Best of luck with the tour. And thanks for taking the time again.
Oh, it was my pleasure, Mel, and hopefully sometime soon we'll see you in Australia.